When we're dealing with these right triangle problems, we're dealing with really three right triangles that all overlap. And the three right triangles all turn out to be similar to each other. And so there's many proportions in here that we can use to find missing sides. Now, the way that I do like to do these problems is I'm going to set up a chart. Some people like to redraw the three triangles separately. I'm going to use a chart to set this up. I'm going to do the chart this way. I've got a small triangle, which we'll trace in a second. I've got a medium-sized triangle, and then I've got the large triangle, which is the complete triangle together. Within each of those triangles, then, I also have three sides. I've got a short side, I've got a medium length side, and then again I've got the longest side, although I'm going to call the longest side the hypotenuse. I think that makes it a little bit easier to identify. So let's go ahead and fill this chart out. Now, you may not have every single number filled out in this chart, and that's okay. All you want to do is have enough numbers in here to write a proportion. So let's start with the small triangle. If you look, and this might be helpful to do in colors, let's go ahead and trace out that small triangle. So it's that right triangle right there. I can see that 3 is going to be the hypotenuse. It's across from the right angle. So in my chart, let me go ahead and put a 3 for the hypotenuse. And I can also see that x is the medium length side. This side right here looks to be the shortest side. Now sometimes it's hard to tell, and so what I do is I just kind of guess which one is the shortest and which one's the medium side. And basically, if I can't do a proportion, I guess I've guessed wrong, so maybe try switching it. Usually you can tell, though, which is the short side and which is the medium side. I don't know the short side of the small triangle, but that's okay. I may not need it. So let's switch colors and let's trace out the medium-sized triangle. So right here in red is my medium triangle, and there's my right angle. So once again, I can see 4 is my hypotenuse. It's across from that right angle, so I'll put 4 in my chart. This time x is the short side of that medium triangle, and I don't know what the medium length side is, but maybe that's okay. And then finally, let's look at the large triangle, which is the overall triangle, the complete right triangle. In this case, I know all three sides. It's a 3 for the short side, a 4 for the medium side, and a 5 for the hypotenuse. And that makes sense. 3, 4, 5 should make a right triangle. So there's my chart all filled out. Now here's what I'll do to then find what I need. I'm going to try to match up boxes to write a proportion. So for example, I see that there's the x I'm trying to find. I'm going to match up I'm going to write the proportion x over 3. So using the last two boxes in my chart. So x over 3 is equal to, now I can use any other combination that I want to as long as it's those last two boxes. So I don't want to use this spot because I'm missing something in there. So instead, let me jump down to the bottom and use those. So the proportion I'll write is x over 3 is equal to 4 over 5. Again, we've talked a lot about being consistent in how we set up our proportions, so this is me being consistent. If I solve this by cross multiplying, I get 5x equal to 12. Dividing both sides by 5 gets me an answer of 2.4. Now let me just show you, not to make this more complicated, but let me just show you one other proportion I could have written. So you may have seen another x in the chart. If I had used this x, for example, I could write the proportion x over 4, which uses the first and third columns. I would then have to match it up to the first and third columns down here. So x over 4 can equal 3 over 5. And you'll see that if I solve that proportion, I'd get the exact same answer of 2.4.